Celebrating independence and its relevance to our current lives as Ghanaians. And we have Fritz Baffour joining us this morning. Good morning once again, Uncle Fritz.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Well, obviously, I don't have grey hair yet, and I wasn't born in 1957 anywhere near it.
Yeah.
I missed a bigger part of it. As for Emefa, I'm just the idea of conceiving her wasn't even wasn't even there. But I'm very sure you lived that time when Kwame Nkrumah, stood on that podium and spoke to Ghanaians on that.
Very much so. My father was a very senior civil servant at the time, and so our official residence was next to the State House, where Kwame Nkrumah lived, and I think he was very much involved. My father was very much involved in the celebrations and things like that. So I had, a real good view of it. And I can remember I was just about to turn 5.
Oh.
Because I was also born in March, you see.
Oh.
So we went along the Independence Avenue, where we had flags, all the schoolboys and children, girls were waving flags as the dignitaries passed, in open, beautiful cars those days, open back Rolls Royces and things like that. It was very exciting. But even at that age, I was conscious of the fact that independence meant something very, 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 very vital to our society. And so, my dad was an engaging person, so I could talk to him about things. And I asked him what independence meant. And he said that it meant that we now had the opportunity to be the greatest country in the world. And that's something that has stuck in my mind. And for a long time, at least for the first 6, 7, 8 years, or the first decade, you could see us going in that direction. I mean, Ghanaians were superlative in everything that they did, in sports, in science, in education, our civil servants were the best. We had a first-class diplomatic corps. The country started growing. Hospitals were being built. Schools were being built. Education became a focus.
Does this mean that before 1957, these weren't available in terms of schools, hospitals, facilities, and the infrastructure?
Not really. The thing is that we were a colony. All right. That means we had imperial rulers or people who had conquered us. And they were there for their own good, So they'd come to exploit what we had. And that's what happens with conquest. So, yes, they did things that would make their exploitation more efficient. They were Europeans. And when they came to Ghana, the weather wasn't good for them. So most of them, was a very high mortality rate. So then they decided on a very clever thing. That was to educate Africans to handle the commodities and the resources they wanted, you understand. So ostensibly the schools were geared towards that at a certain time. And then they also came with religion, Christianity, and they needed people to spread the word. And so a lot of mission schools were set up. In Fanspim, Adeti was a seminary. It's only Achimota at the time that became the first official government school for training.
You mentioned Achimota. There's one in our midst who'd always brag about his school, and that's me.
Okay, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean,
which school did you attend?
I went to Premier College and Technology Secondary School in Kumasi.
Okay.
So, I look at you guys and I laugh. But then my wife went to Achimota. My father also spent some time there. My mother went to Achimota. So. Oh, wow. And my brothers and sisters, I have quite a few who went there. So it's not really a problem.
I'm curious, sir. So remembering what your father said, now Ghanaians have the opportunity to be great.
Yeah.
Today, how would you describe independence to your children and even your grandchildren?
Well, the thing is that the opportunities and the horizons are still there. The thing is the way we're going about it. This nation was forged out of disparate groups, all right. But then again, it was forged out of a historical precedence, which was colonialism. They forced us together. But in actual fact, if you look at our history and the interrelations between the various ethnic groups, you'll find out that we're mostly peaceful. If it hadn't been for the slave trade, we'd brought in a different kind of paradigm. We intermarried. Ghanaians have never been shy of marrying from another group or another town and all that. And in fact, in our history, if you look at our traditions, you'll find out that they said, oh, this village was founded by a hunter who was going to look for a wife, you know, because, you know, and again, in the Akan clan system, it's very rare that you marry within your clan. I mean, it's not the, so we are what we call we marry outside. So with our history, I think that we've been very, very lucky. And we could have made far, far, far much better use of what we had. I mean, I think we're blessed.
Yeah.
And I think that we've not counted our blessings. We've rather, you know, looked down on our blessings. And that's what's affecting us at the moment.
Would you say that the energy with which Nkrumah declared freedom and the energy with which he started a lot of economic revolutions, and as a politician yourself, are you disappointed today? I know you've said that we can do better, there's more opportunities, but are you disappointed?
I'm a historian, so, you know, I mean, that's my forte. And so when I look at other antecedents and other countries, how they developed and everything, I've always said that Ghana is not really a very old nation. 63 years for a nation is nothing. And so we're going to go through experiences that will be either beneficial or totally against the grain. And so what we have to do is to focus on the idea that we're one nation. You understand? If we start pointing out all kinds of different things, then how different we are. I mean, we should be focusing on unity, focusing on working together, focusing on a common destiny. And I know this is a cliche. We say one nation, one people, one destiny. And that is my belief.
Focusing on working together, Kwame Nkrumah said something that the black man is capable of managing his own affairs, and a statement that has come, you know, to a lot as is questionable, you know, considering some of the ways that we do our things. As blacks, you know, our mentality, indiscipline growing heavily amongst us. It's a fact. It's a reality. Is a black man capable of managing his own affairs?
Of course. I mean, the thing is that we've got so many negative forces weighed against us. This continent is a continent with all the resources in the world, all right? The other nations don't have it. They were marauders, so they came in and they realized that, listen, the best way to exploit us is to keep us disunited. I believe very much in African unity because I've lived in several African countries for long periods, and I found out that we're really the same in what we want, what we eat, you know, aspirations and everything. But the thing is that we have the negatives, you know, where we've become a little greedy because we have an imbalance in the resource sharing and all that kind of thing. But in history, it's a process that I think entities and societies go through. But because we are in it, we're impatient, and we have to be impatient.
Do you ever see a united Africa?
Oh, well, the thing is, I've never ever doubted the possibility of any great human endeavor, because I never dreamt that in my lifetime I'd see apartheid fall. I never dreamt that in my lifetime I'd see the Berlin Wall go down. I never thought in my lifetime that there would be a black president of the United States. Right. You understand? I never thought that at a certain time in our nation, we would do, in our nationhood, would see the things that we're seeing now. So, you know, when it comes to human endeavor, I will not prophesy, but I believe very, 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 very seriously, I believe deeply about the possibilities that his time is going to come again.
Okay, still staying on that, would you arguably would say that's a country well led? The leader at a particular time contributes highly to the growth of that country. We've seen leaders come and go. Do you think we have had good leaders? Or do you think that it's just a matter of the economic formation of our country that's like you said, we can do better? Which one?
We've had the leaders we deserve. You see, Kwame Nkrumah, yes, we had the leaders we deserve. You see, Kwame Nkrumah, when he came in, looked at a certain angle that many people had not looked at. That the great unwashed or the man on the street, all right, had some power. And he exploited that power, and we got our independence. We got our independence without fighting and violence. It was through Georgia, not war. So fine, and then he was overthrown. There were difficult times towards the end of his reign. I have to be fair and say I'm a great admirer of Kwame Nkrumah, so I may be prejudiced. But he was overthrown, and the people who came in did not really deviate from the ideal per se, you understand. But they came in with vociferous enmity against Kwame Nkrumah. And so they tried to do a lot of things that was opposite to what he was doing in terms of the nation, the advancement of the nation. They had different views. And that became a problem. After 2 years, they were overthrown. The military government was from 1966 to 1969. 69 to 72 was the Second Republic. And you could see that even the constitution was geared so that things that happened in Nkrumah's time wouldn't happen again. All right. And then you had another coup. And then 7 years later, we went into the Third Republic.
What I also want to ask, and just going back to history, and for many young people who are now in school and studying and learning about Ghana's independence and Kwame Nkrumah, it just doesn't make sense to a lot of young people, millennials, how a great man who took us through to independence then was overthrown. And we see a lot of infrastructure that has his name attached to it, the motorway, the ports, the harbors, you name them. Yeah. Yet he was overthrown. It's hard to connect the dots for a young person, you know, who's been born in the JHS or SHS or even partially into the universities to try and get that connection of how we took such a great man away.
No, the thing is that the people who lived at that time, you know, experienced Kwame Nkrumah. They are no more here, all right? But at that time, Nkrumah knew, and the people around him knew the building blocks of a nation. You needed roads so that people could move freely. You needed schools so people could apply themselves to industry and to work, all right? And have a learned approach to it. You needed good health so that your people will always be well. You understand what I'm saying? And these things were put into place. But I think that we didn't work hard on the kind of systems that we wanted. You see, we borrowed the systems from the Europeans, all right? And those systems were exploitative, all right? So I think that what we should have geared ourselves was to have a system that was African that we could relate to, all right? Let me give you an example. We talk about Ashanti, the Kingdom of Ashanti. I mean, and I think about 3 or 4 years ago, the Queen Mother passed away, sadly. Yeah. And there were certain strictures that were imposed upon the Ashanti people by the Asantini. And it was accepted. Nobody quarreled about it and anything. But can you imagine the government of Ghana trying it? All right, yes. So it just shows you the example of what unity and discipline can do when you have a belief in a certain system. All right, because when you talk about Ashanti, you're not talking about ethnicity. You're talking about a system. Right. You understand? Nobody, I mean, all the people walking around saying me Asante Nipe, I never believed it, because you could have the blood of a Mushiman or a Dagomba or an Ewe, whatever. But you adhere to a certain system. And that is the lesson that I think we should accept, that we have a nation, and the nation belongs to us. You understand? And we believe that the resources should be shared equally, and people should aspire to make their nation better. Yeah. That is the essence of it. And now we've got our politics, and unfortunately, we've not really gone into the political. We've had a sustained political system for the first time for over 20 years. Yeah. And we've not handled it right. All right.
When you say we haven't handled it
because somebody from another political party is not your enemy. Yeah. It should be about a difference in ideas, not a difference in personality, and that you feel so strong enough that you want that person killed or harmed. I think that is wrong. You understand? But it pertains throughout the world. What I'm saying is an ideal, but I think that we should work towards the ideal, not work towards the negative.
Actually, not even a question, but I share in this ideology of kings and queens, and I always feel like presidents weren't our thing. And as Africans or even Ghanaians, you know, in our history, it was kings and queens that ruled. And probably if we had
Allow kings to
yes,
reign.
allow that system to rule. Because that example was a very powerful example.
But the thing is that you also have to realize that there are modernisms that come in. You're talking about freedom of speech. You have talking about freedom of movement. You're talking about freedom to do certain things, and these are what are is the bedrock of democracy. And these things are actually imbued in the UN Charter. And we're all members and we signed to the UN Charter. So there are certain things that we've got to accept. And I think that monarchism in certain places is outdated. Greece had a king and they removed him and then they put a president there. If you go to Bulgaria, Albania, all those places. In Britain, they've taken their time and they've really radicalized the way that they approach their monarchy and everything. And though she is a sovereign queen, all right, it's more like a titular thing. And they use her to unite the nation, you understand? So everything is open-ended. You can't say, look, I'm a total monarchist. I can't be a monarchist because I have socialist inclinations.
Well, sit today, sir. Sit back today. What would you rather have we do and we shouldn't do to make this country better?
I think that we should work harder to make our system stronger. That's one. And two, for a nation that claims that, all the religions that we have, the main religions, the religions of the book, as they call them, Islam and Christianity, talk about love of neighbor. And yet, that isn't what happens. Because of the economic conditions that we've put ourselves under. And as I said, I will not fully blame ourselves because we've got a world out there that wants to exploit what we have because it's there. If you go to Japan, they don't have any minerals. All right. If you go to France, they may have a little bit of coal, a little bit of iron. All right. Britain itself has exhausted most of its real resources, except that it's got oil, and even they don't even use coal anymore. And so they look to us and they say, all right, we can get our things from here. And when you want to buy something from someone, you want to always diddle him. You always want him to play it down. So that is the game. But we should be stronger than that because we have an intelligence. We have the free will. We have the ability to do our best. And that is what we should head towards. When I look at the media, when I started in the media as a very young boy. I was 13 years old when I started working as a what do you call it in broadcasting at the time. And there were heroes, Mike Egan, John Hammond, Reverend Amamu, all these people were, and there were great producers like Martin Lowe, Nana Busumpra, and they had in their mind that great idea that Ghana was a nation that could do well together despite the disparate areas and ethnicities that we have. Because we had a very vibrant kind of people, and we still have a vibrant kind of people. But it's the focus. Yeah. Our focus is not on the wrong thing. Our focus is on political power. Our focus is on material power. And the thing is that you could sometimes best live when your focus is on your neighbor or your friend. You focus better when you have better feelings. It's a natural thing, Love is very important.
This question is more, it has a little political, strings to it, but democracy in a sense and independence, these are two big words. Yeah. And yes, it's great to be independent, but is democracy working for the Ghanaian?
Well, we are in a trial period. I don't think that we've gotten there at all. You understand? And we're going to make huge mistakes. But what we should believe in is that once we make a mistake, we don't repeat it. Or we try as much as possible to modify the circumstances so that mistake will be, minimized. So that is what is important to me.
Because it feels some Ghanaians are even probably crying for military rule, considering some of the things that are happening. Want a certain stricter lifestyle. Yeah,
there are some Ghanaians who are also hankering for British colonial rule, which I find traitorous. But yeah, the thing is that discipline is a very important aspect of everything. I had the opportunity to visit South Korea and Japan. And what struck me was the discipline. They worked for each other. And when you're working for each other and you care about the other's feelings, you're more careful and more disciplined about how you go about things. Look at the way we drive. Look at what we see. Yeah. People riding motorcycles against the traffic, one ways. And then at night, in fact, this morning when I was coming, I was almost delayed because a church had taken over the entire road and the man was standing in the middle of the road preaching. And he's preaching from a belief system that believes, do unto others that you wouldn't do unto yourself, that you wouldn't want to be done to you. So basically, there's something wrong with us. We seem to have lost focus, that we have to start thinking, we have to be more introspective to say, how are we treating our neighbors? All right, are we doing the right thing? You get up in the morning, you get up at night from 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock, you're blaring your radio, you're preaching and shouting and raving and ranting. People are playing music and everything. It worries me.
On that note, when did we lose it? Because if you watch that video where Kwame Nkrumah was talking, you could sense that unity among Ghanaians. So at what point in time in the 70s, 80s?
When we lost the will to enforce.
Right.
You understand, the rules and regulations are there, but we are very reluctant to enforce them, mostly for political and certain social reasons. You understand. Politics has taken over us so much that people do things thinking that, oh, because I belong to a particular political party and we're in power or we're not in power, I can do this and I can do that and all that, because we are not coming together to have a narrative, a common narrative and a conversation to even discuss our differences. Can you imagine MPP and NDC sitting down and saying, how do we go forward, all right, together? I mean, we may disagree. You understand? One of the greatest documents I've seen in recent times was the report of the Constitutional Review Commission. And both sides of the political divide have not implemented the great things that are in there. So it shows you that some people believe that if we do our things this way and we keep a hang on to power, we'll be better off. But I saw it in Liberia and I saw it in Rwanda. I saw the wars and I saw the people being killed. The thing is that you cannot in a country make certain people second class or not acceptable to the norm. And if you do that, you create anger. And anger leads to violence. Yeah. And so therefore we have to be very, very careful about our utterances. And you know, we give vent to some, I'm sorry, I when I'm on the air, I don't condemn or insult because I don't believe in that. But you've got some characters who shouldn't be, their utterances shouldn't be broadcast to people at all. Yeah. Because they come from a very, very, very narrow sphere. All right, a sphere that is negative to our society.
Wow.
Well, I'm enjoying, this is deep conversations and I'm just soaking in, inhaling it. We're talking to Fritz Baffour. He's blessed our screens, he's been in parliament, he's contributed to decision making in our country. Now we're going for a break. When we come back, I have a question. My question may be before, so he can be thinking about it. Every year, what does he look out for? What does he expect to see, especially during 6th March and the celebration? And is he particularly excited about moving the celebration out of Accra? Last year we were in Tamale, and this year we're in Kumasi. Does it matter at all? Is it important to still be marching anyway? Does it contribute in any way? Stay with us and we'll come back shortly.
Still waving my flag. Still waving my flag high. Emefa has a ton of questions for you, but on a lighter note, what is your favorite song?
My favorite song? I've got so many.
Oh.
I've got so many. I mean, the thing is, I'm a very great fan of the late C.K. Man. And I have antecedents from Elmina, and we're related, so I love Adwa Yankee.
Oh, now that is classic music.
And then I also like George Daku's Akoti Rofo. So these are the people And in the modern thing, I like Kofi Kinata.
Oh, you couldn't get that
I think
wrong.
he's just superb.
Yes, yes. I'd love to find out from you what was entertainment for you in your early
It was great. I'll tell you, it's fantastic.
Okay, so we're just taking a quick break and then just dropping in a little more poetry this morning, celebrating independence 63 years. And this morning we have OK the poet joining us here on the show. How are you doing, my brother? Great. We are fine. We are fine. Let me give you this so you have a touch of Ghana in you. Yes, as well.
This is a touch of Ghana. So.
That's right.
Okay, over to you.
Okay. So this piece, I title it Independence, Independence. Just like Emefa did. This is the pure truths coming from the grassroots. Words from the core of the earth. It's okay, the poets. Independence, independence. Jomo Kenyatta once said, when the missionaries arrived, the Africans had the land and they had a Bible. They taught us to pray with our eyes closed. When we opened, they had the land and we had the Bible. This thought got me thinking, wow, I got lost in my own thoughts. This thought got me drunk. I will never be sober. I don't need straw to draw your attention. It is interesting to know that the figures from Bank of Ghana indicate that the country's public debt has reached 214.9 billion Ghana cedis as at November 2019. This equates to about 7,163 Ghana cedis debts for each Ghanaian. Out of this 214.9 billion, the external debt components account for 111.9 billion Ghana cedis, and the domestic parts accounting for 102.9 billion Ghana cedis. The question is, are we independent or independence? Because so far as we go for loans, debt will always be pending. This is the true state of the nation address, and we need to address it as it is, and not to address it as if we are on our own. Politicians in about power, no matter than your crekumante, they can be an omonte. Yɛto abama mo sɛ mo mbɛhwɛ yeso yankasa mo mbɛhwɛ yeso obi ase oba ne mpuntu yeso de yɛn hwan ne sɛ ɛkwan ne so futuro ya brɛ ene mo nto ato a afa de obi ansi trodo matoa obi ansi trodo matoa ya brɛ ne mo nto ato a sɛ ye wi abato a na afa mo te omanity wa abato a 63 years and still counting after Dr. Kwame Nkrumah fought for our independence. Yet we don't see anything wrong with children schooling under trees, poor road network. Tema motorway now turned to Tema railway. Africans. Just like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs, but until we change our ways, we will always be independent. Thank you.
Let me have my flag back. Thank you very, very much.
You got a flag for Fritz Baffour, and that's a great one. Yeah.
Yes. Well, very soon we're switching over to the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. The president arrives in the next 4 minutes as well, so we will just we'll be cutting over and switching over to the stadium and watch, the parade as it happens as well. But
just the perfect time for you to tell me how you feel about celebrating the independence and Shanti reading and what are we
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. The thing is that you have a president who has a penchant for ideas of socializing. We look at the year of return, we look at this. These things they are pluses for him. I mean, I disagree with him on a whole lot of things, but these are pluses. The thing is to bring the people back together. But it shouldn't just be a showpiece. It should be something deeper.
Right.
We should work very hard to ensure that it's not only about the shows, but you say the year of return is Accra clean. I now very, very sorry call Accra. It's almost like a toilet. It's so filthy.
Yeah.
We say we are painting, and I know the Joy FM have got a thing that they're doing.
Yes.
But the gutters are still overflowing with debris of all kinds. Our people are still throwing rubbish and litter around. You understand? And that's, I think, where we've got to get to, that people have got to start becoming responsible for their actions.
Yes.
And it goes back to what I'm saying. If you care about your neighbor, you will know very well that you don't have to throw plastic waste into the gutters, because you know that it leads to illness and death. You understand? So if we are responsible to ourselves and to other people, things will change. And that's what I believe that government policies should start dictating now, and ensuring that the systems that have been put in place to ensure that the country progresses are allowed to work. We are politicizing everything.
Over the past 20 years, this is a bit also quite a hard one, but over the past 20 years, there's been a shuttle between NPP and NDC, NPP and NDC. Have these two parties done us justice?
No, not really. We're different in the way we do things. But if we are partisan and parochial in our thinking, things won't happen. All right? Look, in Parliament, my best friends were from the other side. I wish we could transfer that love, that togetherness outside.
Right.
All right? But the ones who are at the top are friendly, and the ones who are down, who claim to be foot soldiers and whatever, are at each other's throats. And there's something wrong with it. It should be the other way around.
But aren't we seeing, we're not seeing that, that
Look, there
friendliness.
are so many things that you're not seeing. All right, there's so many
But
things
we
that you're
want
not
to
seeing.
see. How can we see?
No, that's what I'm saying. We have to create the enabling environment for us to have that. You understand? As I said, look, I mean, if I walk into Jubilee House, nobody's going to throw stones at me. All right, there are going to be people who come and hug me. All right, there may be some people who say, who the hell is he? What's he doing here? But I think the majority will be happy to see me, and vice versa. And it's the same thing. If Nanado meets John Mahama, all right, do they frown at each other? No. You know. So basically, we know that that is the way to go. So why don't we do it, you know, from the bottom upwards? Yeah. And I think that those of us in the media who've got the skills to help bring this country together should work towards that. But the media seems to always want a situation where we're at each other's throats. It's wrong, especially, yes. So I've never really believed in, you know, you have a morning program and you call somebody from NDC and you call somebody from NPP, and you know they will never agree because, one, you know, most of us are under the whip. Right. You understand? You go and say anything that, I mean, I'm old enough. I'm approaching a certain age that I can tell people to go to hell if they disagree with me, whether I'm in their party or not. You understand what I'm saying? I'm a crusty old man now, so I can be crotchety when I want to be. But the thing is that we've really got to work hard to bring this nation together. That is my pain. All right?
Let me go how you're celebrating your independence.
Let me go off independence and this whole everything and get personal. So, how many countries have you visited? Because we grew up watching Sincerely Yours, and every time you blink, Uncle Fritz is in another country.
Well, the last time I did a count, it was 48, I think.
Wow.
Goodness.
Wow. Yeah. 48 countries.
Wow.
Do you miss the travels?
Yes, I miss it, but the thing is that it was also hard work.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're carrying your luggage, you're carrying your equipment, you know, and the thing I hated, and the cameramen are sitting here, they're watching me. The thing I hated was carrying a tripod. Oh, Lord. My God. And I had to carry my tripod because, you know, when you're traveling, when you're doing Sincerely Yours, I didn't use a Ghanaian crew. I had to hire a local crew. And maybe it's one cameraman, and then I'll carry the tripod and we'll set up, and then I do the sound and everything. It was hard work. Look, I went to Trinidad and Tobago, and I think my wife should forgive me. And you know, for the carnival, and I saw the most beautiful women in the world. I couldn't even talk to them because I had 5 days to work. So 6 o'clock in the morning, I'd be out. 9 o'clock, I'd be in bed, and I had to get up early in the morning again. And I left that place without talking to one single girl. So I think that it was my wife's prayers.
Hilarious. Which did you enjoy, being in the media or doing politics?
What I enjoy most is acting in films.
Wow.
Yeah, I enjoy that. I mean, that thing gives me, you know, but the media was great. It was great for me. It made me. And then stand-up comedy too was good. Except that stand-up comedy, you're in front of an audience and they're laughing and they're happy. But they think that when you leave the stage, you're the same laughing. And that's
yes, it's true.
Yeah.
They carry
but it
Would
doesn't
you
matter.
accept a role if a movie producer approached you?
I've just finished a film.
Oh.
But I want to talk about it till it comes out.
Oh.
I've been acting the past 3 years. I've done about 2 or 3 films.
Wow.
They're going to come out.
Okay, we can't wait for that. How are you celebrating your independence today?
I'm going to drink some beer.
That's right.
But you see, I'm in Lent, so I'm in Lent. So my Catholic fathers today, you know.
You just made my morning.
It's always a pleasure to have you, Uncle Fritz.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning.
Yeah, you're one of my favorite characters, and you know, I'm for Emefa, I don't play with that.
Thank you,
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
God
Well,
bless.
so we'll be switching over to the Babayara Sports Stadium. We have dignitaries arriving at the venue as well as the presidents, and we're going to give you the live broadcast of the show. Hope you've enjoyed Prime Morning with us this morning, Emefa.
I did enjoy it as well. I came out looking like the Ghana flag for you. I hope that you enjoy the spirit of independence. Now, we still have more just before we go to the venue. Have you seen your Prime Studio contestants? They're coming up shortly. Just before we go to Babayara Sports Stadium, we have a lot more for you. So, Jay, can you audition me? I want to join Prime Studio. Tell Parkway that I'm ready to join.
Emefa, this is Prime Studio, capital P. Not the small P one, because the small P one, then we can put
Try. You never know. You never know. I can be a talent too.
Hallelujah.
You never know.
Amen.
Discover me. Just as we're discovering these young talents.
Of course, and talking young talent. You see, I've already got my shades on because I want to feel like an artist. You know, artists, when they get in there, they're doing their rap and their things like that. And that's why they're here with us today. They have a special song for us. These are reps and contestants from Prime Studio. Guys, hey, what's up? How are you doing? Are you celebrating the independence?
Yeah, sure.
Let me put this one down because I haven't reached there yet.
How's it going so far? Because I watched Jay drilling you. Do you like him? Do you still like him? Yes. They're saying this because they know you might come back.
I'll be back.
You want him back?
Yes.
I'll be back.
So you want him to judge you?
Yes.
But how is it going? Are you excited to be on Prime Studio? Who's got the microphone, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
yes.
Yeah.
Sure, yes, that's it. You think you're composing a song? That's just it?
Okay, so we need him back. We want him to come and drill us.
Well,
take
for
us
you,
through.
the experience for you,
Yes.
Prime Studio, how is it going so far?
Oh, okay. It's very nice one. It's powerful, strong, and it's making us build our music talents and stuff, and it's making us, compose good songs and reach out to the other people out of the box.
Okay, I'm curious.
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 15.
Emefa, she's got an amazing voice.
Yes, I've heard her.
Wow.
Yeah, I hear you've got an amazing voice for a 15-year-old. What pushed you to come and audition for Prime Studio?
Because I know that's where my help will come from.
That's why. Is your mom watching?
Yes,
Where do you come from?
I'm from Sinyani.
Sinyani.
Yes.
Wow.
Sa?
I'm biased. The women are just three here, so I'm going to just jump over to the next woman. He should go and kill himself. How are you, my darling? Tell me your
I'm
name.
good. My name is Nicole.
Nicole. I've also heard you sing. You sing beautifully.
Thank
Why
you.
are you part of Prime Studio this morning? Like, why are you part of it?
I want to show what I have to the world. That's
Okay.
the face, and I want to learn more.
Are you having a beautiful experience? Are you encouraging people to come when we're calling for the next season?
Yes,
You are.
yes,
Are you hoping to win?
yes, of course.
Okay. Well,
Well,
maybe
if
let
she's
me
going to
talk-
win under my watch, then she's going to do
Let
a
me-
lot more work.
Let me reluctantly talk to the guys. One of the guys.
Who won the favorite? Was it the best performer? It was Okay, so didn't join us here today. Oh yeah, amazing guy. Had a great performance.
Apart
as
from
well.
who's won before?
Well, I think Adeti has won. Yeah.
Naja, shall I take your hand?
Oh yes, yes. Feel free.
How did you win? Show me in a second how you won. The
Not being best performer. Give us something. An acapella from you.
Just gonna stand there and watch me burn. But that's alright because I like the way it hurt. Just gonna stand there and hear me cry. But that's alright because I love the way you lie. I love the way you lie. Oh, I love the way you lie. Oh, yeah.
Oh wow! Wow! Wow!
See how excited she looks?
You know what that is saying there? It'll be new.
Is your stomach your stomach doing you something? Your stomach is not doing you something.
But that's what a competition is all about, right? It's about competition, so you have to compete amongst yourselves. Yeah.
Let's talk about independence.
Okay.
Shall we?
All right. Yes, definitely.
I see it's like you're competing me, but you have no idea I'm wearing red, gold, green
Without
everywhere.
the black star.
The black star is somewhere special. You have no idea. So tell me, how does independence, what does it mean to you?
Let me
Or all you know how to do is to
Let me
sing?
start off with yes. I mean, yes.
I think that it's been awesome, man. The independence, you know, being in Ghana as a Nigerian, it's been awesome, man. It's my second home, and I'm happy to be here.
Exactly,
Okay,
and that's
that's
why I
good
actually
to know.
wanted to hear from you. As
Now I know why they wanted you to talk.
well. What about you?
Independence means a lot to me based on the freedom Kwame Nkrumah have given us.
At least
And-
you have freedom to sing on Prime
Oh
Studio.
yes, we're not hiding anywhere. We are able to express ourselves, and thanks a lot for that.
I like your hair. Let me talk to the gentleman there.
Thank
I
you.
see you have, what's that instrument?
Yeah, it's called Futura.
Futura.
Yeah, not Futura, like in my Akan language.
Hey, Emefa.
Oh, problem.
You had future, eh?
The way I'm single, dear, I have to start looking into the future. Anything that looks like F, I have to
F,
jump
you have to
ahead.
jump ahead.
I see. Tell me about your experience as well, Prime Studio.
Prime Studio have been a lot impacting my life, and actually, before I knew a lot about music, but coming to Prime Studio and learning most of my gifts, I discovered a lot from there. So I always say thank you to Prime Studio, and what they did for me has been amazing. Yeah.
All right, great.
Great.
So, are you ready to sing the song for us?
Sure.
The special song you have for us?
100%.
All right, who's our lead? Nicole. Yeah, all lead.
Okay, I'm curious. The children should be given some opportunity. What about that? Okay, so you have the
Naja.
microphone.
Naja.
We can have two girls. So you have microphone, the girl. Okay, so because you're older than her, I'm just being biased. Let's give her the microphone. Let's see. So that we lead. Oh, you're starting. Okay, great. Okay.
They have their own way.
All right, sorry.
All right. Conductor J is ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Mojanananam Shrego is a toe my end. Edmane was so say a baby so.
Nimjan to so consum cranny and person in guminga. At the end, Bermo, and my assassin, oh, Joe, to say.
So matter yo, so matter yo, and yes and no, say, oh my proprietor. So matter yo, so matter yo, and yes and no, say, oh my proprietor. Yo, and yes and no, say, oh my proprietor.
Gonna be my own, gonna be my motherland. Someone you know, yeah, vibe, gonna be somewhere. Anytime, what time, who ya,
Someone in the fur, as if I would flow, yeah. Can I hear no? Oh, yeah, I'm in Suleiman. Someone
From 1957, and I know my way. They just wanted to this for 2027. First of all, I'm honest. Maybe give up honest. Maybe if we chain up, when God will smile upon us. I don't want to.
And yes and no, say, oh my proprietor. Oh my yo, oh my yo. And yes and no, say, oh my proprietor. All right. Changing independence, they won't not
na gana be ya ofri emi na owo inti ni meni ya ni meni ya yo oye dene na se mama for one bravo no betre ni meni ya yes and mama for betre
I don't know so Ghana will for who did so yeah. Sick a drop of finna and not so cassette yeah. But I can set your friend and mamma just so yeah. Come and come and change to cry, you know this yeah.
Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you're coming from. For the mother is your money. Let's live in love. Mano,
Kuma gentleman, Pamuka and Ghana, we are free forever. Independence, no more dependent. The Kwashada Woma, you cool.
I'll suggest you stop for Emefa. Emefa's part, no instrumentation.
She needs a microphone. Yeah.
Hey.
Check it.
Papa's your Juma way. Mean to me. Prime Studio. Majuma Nessie here. But anyway, so sorry.
Message for Liverpool and Chelsea. Never. Fantastic. All right, let's get to know your names. Rapper, singer, real quickly, starting with you.
Dublin Vibe, I'm a rapper.
Okay, and we have...
My name is Kwame Stika and I'm still a rapper.
Okay.
And it's Arte, the musician.
Okay.
Yeah, Omoyino ni Amiola, a singer.
All right.
Young two guy rapper.
And then?
Topmost TOPMOST rapper.
All right.
Nicola Bevo, singer.
Okay.
Tom Beats, baby. I'm Naja, a singer.
Hey!
We're from Good Boy Legend, me a singer.
Nice one. Well, that's what it is. So, who's telling us, how do we vote for you? Please don't add your name to it. Make it general. I know you. Naja, how do we vote?
You text the code to 1903 PS.
1903. All right, so we text PS.
On all networks.
PS and the name. Yes. Aha, so PS and the name to 1903. It cuts across all networks. So do all to vote for each of them, all right?
Tomorrow we're watching you, right? Live. You have something special for us?
Oh, yeah.
If you want me to vote for you, please compose a song and stick my name somewhere in there.
Sir?
Okay, yeah.
Well, on that note, switching over to Babaya Sports Stadium right now. Thank you so much for joining us, all right? Well, happy Independence. Hey, Sir Us, thank you so much for my clothing as well. And to you, Emefa.
Thank you so much to Dress Show Inside Tapa. Thank you so much to Cat and Row Beauty Parlor. Here's a la mode for my hair. Enjoy the Independence. I probably will also get a beer.
We'll see you after Independence when I've gained independence as well.
Oh, like a quarterback.